You know what you came for. Let's begin.
People of Australia and of our show, we were very empathetic about what happened and very sort of horrified. And so we were wondering, how is everyone going? How's Kim doing?
What? Okay.
I'm sorry, is there someone talking to you?
Yes, sorry.
Sorry about that. So I just was wondering
They
how
just
everyone's
came
doing.
in.
Hello, Courtney, have we lost you?
All right. It looks like Courtney doesn't really want to go there with
I think
that
she's
question.
blanking.
That newscaster lady is awesome. She's like, yeah, let's move on. I don't know. This is an old clip, but I don't know. I don't know.
Drink the Kool-Aid. You don't drink the gold juice. So I was offered the gold juice 3 times in my 20s, my 30s, and
What's
my
that?
40s.
Pee? A lot of golden showers in
The
Burbank.
gold juice that I will live forever and I'll have whatever I want. The gold juice. You never offered the gold juice?
No, I'm a scumbag comic. What's the gold juice?
I don't know, but I didn't drink it and I didn't want it. And
Is this in
I
a...
noticed when all the girls, certain girls on Orange, changed. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's like a real thing. Like, it's all a real thing. And it's scary because they send, like, people after you and they can, like, kind of moonlight as, like, a friend or, you know, and they're wolf in sheep's clothing. And listen, you can have everything you want, all the fame in the world, all the money. I'm like, what if I just drank it? But then you know what I mean? Like, what if and I don't know what it is. If it's a metaphor for the gold juice, like, you feel what I'm saying?
Mostly.
And
If there's a tincture that makes you younger, I better know where. You better let me in on this. If adrenochrome is real,
She literally said it. She said exactly what it was. I'm kind of surprised she said that out loud on a podcast.
Did you know that in our not-so-distant past, babies were created and incubated en masse? This happened and was showcased as attractions at the World Fairs and even in New York's Coney Island. Can you even imagine carnival attractions where people paid to watch babies growing in incubators? Where were the parents? What happened to all of the babies? Well, have you heard of the orphan trains? They were packed off and shipped out west to help repopulate the great Tartarian cities found abandoned across the land. They were sent to humongous orphanages, and the people were able to get orphans to work their farms and factories. Free labor was abundant, and it was needed to rebuild after the last reset. There is loads of evidence showing that the original Cabbage Patch Kids were these orphans which people just simply picked up and took home like fresh produce. Many children were basically indentured servants and were subjected to lifelong slave labor and sexual abuse. Everything they taught you is a lie. America was covered with empty Tartarian cities, left to rot after the Great Reset, and those that followed grew a few millions babies to repopulate and rebuild. They dug out those cities and started over. Research Tartaria and ask questions. Suspend your disbelief.
I'm totally new to the Cabbage Patch, Tartaria, I don't even know, theory, or I don't know what it's called, but I've only known about this for maybe a year and a half. I think it's really, I never heard about the trains either. And it kind of makes me think of how they used to have all those really big asylums. And it makes me think, like, were they taking children from these people when they put them in their asylums during the reset? Like, was everybody not willing to go along with the reset put into asylums, I wonder? And that's where all the kids came from. I like the cabbage theory is really interesting and cool, but I really think it has to do with the asylums, and I don't think half those people were even crazy. Let's continue.
Hi, my name is Grace Atkinson, and I live in Weatherford, Texas, and I'm 65 years old. I wanted to share how I'm so thankful that I've learned about this SCIT, because I was diagnosed in March of this year with metastatic carcinoma, breast cancer that had gotten into through my lymph nodes into my bone marrow, and stage 4, so there was no cure, the doctors told me. So I did call Brian to see if there had been any good results with the SCIT treating the cancer that had gotten into bone marrow. And he said that yes, there was. It might take a little bit longer than the other cancers, and that I would need to take at least 6 ounces 3 times a day. So I religiously was taking that and giving it a try, because I had several friends that had had good results with the SCIT. So by the middle of May, I was feeling much better. I'm a very active person. I take care of my grandchildren. I do walk aerobics, and I do gardening, and I love learning, and I love teaching. So I am so thankful to be able to have had the feeling better with the SCIT. And I just wanted to share that the scan that I had on the 26th of June showed that the cancer was, it's just gone. I mean, there's no signs of it. There's substantial reduction of any signs of the cancer, and it was a large mass in my chest and in my spine and in my femur. So I'm very thankful and hope that others get the great results that I have. Thank you.
I just wanted to share that. I'm a big believer in holistic healing. I think that there's a cure for everything. There's literally a cure for everything on this planet. I'm a firm believer in that. And that's probably one of them. I never heard of that, but the lady did not strike me as a liar. And what could it hurt?
Can see that their techniques just keep getting a little bit better and better with the time.
What is this? What is this? Are you serious?
Yeah, this is supposed to be this craft here, this thing that went up on this balloon, and it's got all these cameras on it and everything. I don't know if you guys can see my
yeah,
cursor.
I saw it.
Oh yeah, but then this guy's supposedly up there, and the balloon goes up, and then this is the view that he gets. It's like, what?
Come on.
But again, this is just in line with the technology at the time, and this is exactly what people would believe. I mean, imagine if we were 50 years ago and we were shown this, we would be like, wow, that must be what space looks like. And so you just kind of move along with the times, and then if you look at how terrible the the mirror looks, you can see that they're...
That's just NASA being NASA.
What happens in the dark must come to the light, and there's only so long you can lie before the truth is revealed. So when I say I got your ass, oh, I've got your ass. So Captain Robert Falcon Scott was a British Royal Navy officer and explorer who led 2 expeditions to the Antarctic regions, the Discovery Expedition and the ill-fated Terra Nova Expedition. And you ain't gonna believe what he found. Ancient ruins all over Antarctica. Oh my days. I knew it. I just knew it. The continent was too big for no one to have never lived there. And remember, old maps used to show Antarctica green with no ice. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing all of these ancient ruins. If people only knew that there's ancient ruins all over Antarctica, even a pyramid. Oh my diddy. And who were these people? I don't know. And what happened to these people? I don't know. Was Antarctica a frozen wasteland? I don't think so.
I'll be back. My child is yelling. He was mad about home movies. I really like home movies. I miss old Adult Swim. Oh no. Antarctica. Yeah. That's a crazy place, right? That guy always makes really... I like his TikToks. Antarctica's wild. I don't know if Antarctica is like a one place or if it's like a whole big like barrier. I don't know.
Did you know that you're missing a month of your life every year? We're supposed to have 13 months of 28 days exactly, plus one day that represents the renewal. I mean, girls' periods are every 28 days, the ocean tides are every 28 days, the moon's cycle is every 28 days. Why do you think it's called a month? Because the original name was derived from the moon cycle, which was called a moonth, every 28 days. And I'm sure you've heard of the idea that we live on the back of some cosmic turtle floating in outer space. And that's because turtles actually keep a calendar of this on their back. Most turtles have 13 sections in the middle with 28 days around the rim. The Native Americans figured it out and used the turtle as a calendar. The Bible even says in Job 12, 7 through 10, that all creation knows that God made it. But why has the world distorted God's perfect calendar? And where did the 13th month go? Well, what does sept mean? September. Sept is 7. October. Oct is 8. November. Novum. Nov is 9. December. Decem. December means 10. But I thought December was the 12th month. Well, let's think about the first month. What does April mean? April is where we get the word aprilis, or aprio in Latin, which means to appear or to open. Yeah, April is the first month, means to open. May is actually named after a demon or a god, a Nephilim. June is named after Janus, a god as well. July was renamed after Julius Caesar. It was originally Quintilis, which means 4, and August was renamed after Augustus Caesar, but it was originally Quintilis, and which means 5. And Julius Caesar was originally the one who renamed the start of the whole calendar to confuse you. And the missing month, the thing y'all are missing, Sextilis. I know, it's weird, but it means 6. September is now 7, October is now 8, November is 9, December is 10. January is named after a god Janus. February is named after the god Februus, and March is named after another god or demon, Mars, the god of war who ends things. And what's that famous Shakespeare quote? Beware the Ides of March? Oh yeah, here's Shakespeare manipulating our language again. The Ides of March was originally related to a timeline, meaning celebration for the new year. So why'd they change it all? So our yearly calendar was supposed to start in April and end in March. And we were supposed to have 13 months of 28 days, which is 13 times 28 is 364, plus the one day, which represents renewal to make it 365. That day also represents resurrection. Now, what day did Jesus die? It's actually April 3rd that a lot of historians assume. But what do you want to bet the calendar's been shifted a few days? And it was probably closer to April 1st. Hence the name April Fool's Day. Because you're a fool for believing a calendar that makes absolutely no sense and not recognizing the day that Jesus died for humanity. That's why they call it April Fool's Day. And demons celebrate April Fool's Day because the world has forgotten the day that your Lord died for you. All of this calendar shifting, they did it so that you cannot honor God's feast and holidays. They did it to confuse you. I mean, God specifically says, keep my days. He says, keep the Sabbath. That's part of his commandment. God wants you to honor his holidays. And so that's why the calendar's been shifted. So you can't honor God's holidays, and you don't even know what days they are. And Romans 1:20 basically says, God made creation so that you are without excuse if you deny him. So don't be a fool. Recognize that Jesus died for you. Do the research, read your Bible, and realize that you live in a world that's completely manipulated by Satan. They changed the calendar so that you don't know how to honor your God's holidays.
We're supposed to have 13 months of 28 days, with one day, the day of resurrection, Easter, as a neutral day. That's our 365 days. We've actually got 13 constellations, not 12. This same calendar is very close to the Mayan calendar, but it's also very close to several ancient Sanskrit calendars. What does sept mean? 7. I thought that was the 9th month. What does oct mean? What does nov mean? What does dec mean? It's supposed to be the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th month. Jan is 11. Feb is 12. March is 13. April is our first month. Babies are born in the spring, the 1st of April, Easter. This is the start of our new year. This is the start of spring, when the flowers start coming up, the grass starts coming up, the trees start leafing out, the babies are born. That's the first day. Our neutral day, day 1, the day we rest and celebrate the resurrection, the new beginning.
I knew our calendar was not terribly old per se, but this is all very interesting to me, and April Fool's just makes so much sense now. Like, I always used to hear something like Freemason related, but this makes sense to me. Like, we've all been fooled.
Have you all not realized yet that this is really just this? How did Skynet come into being, according to the movie script?
I need to know how Skynet gets built. Who's responsible?
The man most directly responsible is Miles Bennett Dyson. He's the Director of Special Projects at Cyberdyne Systems Corporation.
Why him?
In a few months, he creates a revolutionary type of microprocessor.
Go on, then what?
In 3 years, Cyberdyne will become the largest supplier of military computer systems. All stealth bombers are upgraded with Cyberdyne computers, becoming fully unmanned. Afterwards, they fly with a perfect operational record. The Skynet funding bill is passed. The system goes online on August 4th, 1997. Human decisions are removed from strategic defense. Skynet begins to learn at a geometric rate. It becomes self-aware at 2:14 a.m. Eastern Time, August 29th. In a panic, they try to pull the plug.
Skynet fights back.
Yes, it launches its missiles against the targets in Russia.
Why attack Russia? They're free.
Because Skynet knows that the Russian counterattack will eliminate its enemies over here.
I wonder if Elon has anything to say about that.
It's like, well, how did Cyberdyne Systems develop? It's like, well, they were a military contractor, and they were asked to develop a protective system, something that would protect for cybersecurity. You know, so we need to have protection against cyber attacks. So its primary thing is to defend against cyber attacks. To develop an AI that can defend against cyber attacks. Sounds pretty reasonable. And then, as part of what the AI did is, it in order to defend itself, it propagated throughout the world to keep an eye on things, see what was going on. And then they thought, well, hang on, there's something. They didn't realize that it was that it was Skynet that was propagating through all these systems. And they said, okay, there seems to be something propagating through all these systems. Skynet, you need to stop it. You need to end it. And Skynet said, oh, you've asked me to destroy myself. You are the enemy. You must be destroyed. That's how Terminator actually goes. It was created as a defense system to defend against cyber attacks. Then it was asked to destroy itself, and then it concluded humanity was the enemy.
Now, we know how much the powers that be love to destroy our history. And they love to get rid of certain artifacts, the kind of things that lead us to new information and show us what's taken place in our past that they don't want us to know about. So my question is, how many times has this happened? Has AI taken over before? Has it ruined civilizations before? Interesting thoughts.
First thing that comes to mind is, I think his name's Hal. Is that his name? And I never thought of that. How many times has it been? Like, I don't know. Maybe not. Is that how the Matrix began? Like, the AI have already taken over and we're all in pods right now, and that's why this is a simulation? I don't know.
Mr. 76 signing out.
I'm fascinated by cathedrals. I don't understand how they made them. I don't understand. So that's it for that one. If you had a good time, please come back again. Get a beverage, get a snack, subscribe, hang out. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.